Hello, viewers, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Taranjeet Singh, the co-founder of Innvocon, and now we are back with our next episode, the fifth episode of the Big Brains, wherein we discuss with the industry enablers, the founders, the HR leaders, and the team builders about their perception or their view of team building, as well as what they see specifically as the future of work. So today with me, I have Mr. Harshdeep Rapal. So he is the founder of Legitt Contracts. He's typically, broadly saying, he's revolutionizing the way enterprises they manage their contracts using a SaaS-based AI tool, Legitt .xyz. Welcoming Mr. Harshdeep. Thanks a lot, Harsh, for taking out the time on a Sunday morning and discussing and putting up your views about what you feel about building great cultures and great team. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Taran. I was actually looking forward to this conversation since we talked last. It's great to be on this podcast. I mean, rather than a podcast, a free flowing conversation that we have planned.
Absolutely.
And look forward to some interesting insights from you as well, and sharing some of the things that I have encountered while building Legit and a couple of other businesses.
Sure. So my first question, Harsh, goes around that means you have a wide industry experience, over 10 years of experience now. How did it come up to your mind that this is something I want to solve? And the means the problem that you encountered while working within the industry, while working within the corporates, and then solving it by actually building a product that the industry admires or industry actually needs it.
Yes. So, see, it was some of the things were by design, and some of the things happened as we started taking our baby steps towards the initial plan that we had. So the plan did change, and we did pivot. But there were a couple of learnings that I had from my one corporate job. So I was working for a big corporate till around 2014 end. Then I spent a year and a half with a venture capital firm, helping them build a venture for Southeast Asia, and then started my own journey in entrepreneurship. Okay. So the couple of learnings that I had while starting Legit we started last year. It's been a year now. A couple of things that we had in mind were: number one, the problem that we pick up to solve next should be something that people actually need. Okay,
Absolutely.
there are some things that people can survive without. There are some things that they cannot survive without. So
Absolutely.
we actually wanted to pick some problem which people cannot survive without. So and we had multiple ideas. Me and my co-founder, we had multiple ideas. We deliberated on them. We reached out to some of our mentors, did some experiments, and picked up that okay, agreements and contracts is one area where no business can survive without documenting
Absolutely.
agreements and contracts.
Absolutely.
Okay, there are so many contracts. I mean, actually every document that we have with an external stakeholder, or even our employees, even with our employees, with our customers, with our investors, with external contractors that we have, it's an agreement. So that is one. Second that we wanted to pick up was that okay, the market should be huge.
Right.
Okay, not even large, it has to be huge, because even if we fail, okay, I don't want to use the word fail. Even if we do not grow up to the scale that we want to, we'll at least do something.
Right.
Because in a very large market, I mean, even a very large number of players can survive. Third thing that we thought was that okay, there has to be a gap in the market which we can use as a foothold to build stuff. and then kind of compete maybe with the incumbents or the competitors, betting on this gap which
Right.
nobody is solving. So what we finally picked up was that okay, most of the available tools that we have or platforms that we have in the market, they enable creation of contracts, signing of contracts. Some of them
Absolutely.
go even to the level of building workflows, approval workflows and all. But majority of them, or I would say almost all of them, end the process at signing the contract. Nobody takes it beyond signing.
Absolutely.
But we firmly believe that okay, majority of the life of a contract happens after it is signed, not before it is signed.
Right.
So that is why one step led to another, and we finally found that okay, this is the gap that we want to build. Then we picked up the technology, and right set of partners, right set of mentors, and started building Legit AI.
Fantastic. Very precisely answered. So next question is something I believe I can relate to and comes and directly out of my curiosity that we have been building SaaS. And two questions specifically. The first question goes like, how did you identify the market opportunity? And typically, why did you specifically decided to build a SaaS and SaaS venture that too in India? And what I believe, or what I can presume, is that a larger market, a larger chunk of the global market share, that or the TAM of your product, it typically lies in the US or the Western market. So, how did the entire idea of building a SaaS-based venture come up to your mind?
Okay, yes. So yeah, again, going back to the last question. Another thing why we chose SaaS was that okay, it's difficult to build, but once the flywheel starts moving, I mean, you do not have to worry about the revenue.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I mean, if it is a good product, large enough a market, and you are addressing a gap at a reasonable price point, people are ready to pay. Be it
Right.
India, be it US, be it Europe, be it Australia, New Zealand. So all these markets.
Right.
So our idea was also initially, and I keep using the word initially because we keep evolving as we move ahead.
Yes, we are always
That
in a
we
trenches of learning. So that's what
yes,
signifies an entrepreneur.
yes. So our idea was that okay, we'll target the small businesses
Right.
where the entrepreneur or the founder himself or herself leads the team, be it the operations, be it sales, be it marketing, or HR, all the functions. And in majority of these businesses, the founder himself or herself or the business owner creates the contracts, gets them signed, and follows up on different milestones and renewals.
Right.
Okay, so contrary to the popular belief, majority of the businesses in the world are small businesses. Almost 88% businesses in the US have less than 10 or 15 team members. Almost 90% of the business, 90 to 93% of the businesses have less than 50 team members.
Right.
So it's the small businesses I mean that run the world, and majority of the resources when it comes to technology are built keeping in mind the large businesses. How because they have the paying capacity. So our idea was that okay, if we build a SaaS product at a reasonable price which solves the problem of a founder or the business owner, they would be willing to pay a small amount every month if we kind of prove that okay, this product is worth your time, worth your
Right.
money.
Right.
Doesn't matter if it is India, doesn't matter if it is US. But yes, slowly we are kind of focusing more on the North American, Middle East, and the Australia, New Zealand market. India, yes, we do have the numbers, but the percentage of revenue from India is slightly lesser if we compare to
Yeah.
other markets.
Yeah. So again, my next question somewhat relates to the current question, the last question. That we have been working with companies across UK as well as South Korea, apart from India. So just
Mhm.
out of my personal curiosity, being a SaaS founder, so what are the differences in terms of we can say the product adaptability as well as price points.
Okay.
Yeah, in terms of with context to the customers or the clients, enterprises here in India and in the Western or the Middle East market.
Okay. So one thing when we launch the product, so for us the good thing is that the contract creation, signing, and management and renewal processes same across the globe. It happens, I mean, exactly in the same manner. There might be some differences when it comes to different industry verticals. Construction contracts are very different from manufacturing contracts to
Right.
employee contracts. So or FMCG vendor contracts. But overall, if it is a general or a sales contract, it will be the process will be similar across the globe. Number
Absolutely.
one. So initially, when we launched, when we launched the product, we onboarded almost 10 customers from startup groups, from different WhatsApp groups. SaaS Bhumi was one, and kind of very transparently told these guys that okay, this is the first version of the product, and we know that it is not up to the mark. Okay, but we would love to have you as co-builders of our product. Let's build together, use it, and whenever you feel like paying, pay for it. And we had a very nominal price. So what we did was, the pricing that we had in mind for the initial customers, we gave a 50% discount. So that'll give us a testing, A/B testing kind of
Right.
environment. What kind of a price that
Absolutely.
because they'll share their views on the full pricing, they'll share their view. What happened, especially from the Indian Indian founders. When I'm saying SaaS companies, because there is a SaaS company, and I would like to give it a shout out to Vantage Circle, and the founder Parth.
Absolutely.
They and their team really worked with us for almost 2 months to help us stabilize the product, to help us build new features. And in the next month, we launched in January this year, and February they paid for the full year. That okay, we love the product, what you have built, and tell us what's the annual subscription. They paid for the
Fantastic.
full year. So we
Fantastic.
had this validation that okay, if a company like Vantage Circle and a really seasoned entrepreneur like Parth, they are believing in our product, then others will also believe. So good thing that happened. Initial ten customers that we had were from India. Most of them founders, startup founders or small business owners in the services sector. Good thing about Indian customers is they do not, once you are transparent, they do not treat you as a vendor.
Right.
We told them transparently that okay, help us build. They helped us build. What I personally feel the difference between, and there is no positive and negative thing about it. Americans, Europeans, or folks from Australia, New Zealand, as we are targeting, they're very professional, and they work from point to point, and their every hour is kind of build.
Right.
They might not have spared the time that these founders spared for us, had discussions. So they actually helped us build. But okay, another fact is that when your product is polished, when your product is good, the Americans or the Europeans will be more willing to pay and pay more than the Indian businesses. But when it comes to handholding you, helping you build the product, it'll always be the Indian. So these are some of the learnings. Nothing good or bad about. It's about the cultures. It's about the kind of structure that you have built. Next, what we did was we also had a couple of mentors, very senior folks, a couple of say VCs who have not yet invested in our firm. I keep poking them about the price point, about the kind of market that we have to target, the kind of customers that we should be reaching out. A few of them told that okay, number one, we are underpriced. Number two, the product that we are building is actually needed by large customers, not the small customers, because our initial ICP was a small team of 50 team members being led by the founder or the business owner,
Right.
and it turned out to be true. So later the price point changed drastically. When I say drastically, so initially we were charging somewhere between say $15 a month to $99 a month for first few months. Almost we had around 20 plus paid customers, and then suddenly things changed so much so that the first large customer that we onboarded at $10,000 a month. So that's the difference between the first set of customers that we onboarded and the second set of customers we are onboarding. Now it is entirely large enterprises, large customers who are willing to pay us anywhere between $1,000 a month to $10,000 a month. So that's the
Absolutely.
price point, and there have been a lot of experiments that we have been doing, talking to those guys, because we also have to keep in mind their budget, the kind of benefit that they'll have. Larger customers would love to have the product customized as per their needs. So a lot of learning has gone into this, and we are still experimenting. We are still experimenting. What is our actual price point when it comes to small customers? So what is our actual price point when it comes to large customers? But
Absolutely.
fairly, we know that okay, these type of customers will not pay more than $100 a month, and these kind of customers can even pay up to $10,000 a month.
Right. So that's something I believe that's common between us. I'll tell you an example. I met Jasminder Gulati sir. So he's something.
Yeah.
If you remember, we met at his winter cohort this year during the Lodi
Yes.
celebrations in Gurgaon.
Yes.
So
Yes.
he was means I met him I guess in October or November last year 2022, and that's what he said to me that while you are building a product, right, and you are building it for the enterprises, large companies, why are you keeping your overall price point so low, right? If you're building it for the companies, you're providing the right set of services, right? Pay them pay or present a price point that actually suits or presents the quality of the product that you're presenting.
Yes.
Yeah. So apps means very precisely said. And next question related to something similar. So your experiences with this Minda Gulati sir. So what I believe that he is a seasoned investor and doesn't really come into the limelight like other angel investors do. I believe means season in the sense has got some really great bets early on and has been helping in Indian entrepreneurship ecosystem secretly or silently. So, what have been your experiences and the learnings, if you could share those, please?
So yes, so that's one thread that we have common. We both have common.
Yeah,
So we even before we started Legit, we had a very different idea of what to build, and we had actually started building. It was some other product for SMEs. That was the first time, and we had been in interacting online through Twitter DMs, or WhatsApp. But when we first time I met him, he gave us the reality check. Okay, this will not work. Whatever you are building upfront.
upfront.
It was a really shocking moment. We went back to the drawing board, and kind of created a change, or a drastically changed version of what we were building earlier. That was an overlap with contracts, not exactly contracts. And then one thing led to another, with a lot of feedback from him, and couple of other folks in the startup ecosystem. We started building Legit. So now the biggest contribution, I mean, when I talk about these mentors and investors, uh, you see, money is not a big problem. Okay, so any money you can get from anywhere, but the quality of the money that you have, quality of the
Absolutely.
investment that you have, and the kind of time or effort that he spent in connecting us to the right folks in the ecosystem, the kind of or advice or the feedback that he provided, it's much more valuable than the actual dollar investment that anybody would do. So that's one
Absolutely.
thing. Another shout out I would like to give along with Jasminder Gulati is Bridge Bhasin from Rebright Partners.
Rebright Ventures. Yeah.
Disclaimer: Rebright has not invested in Legit till now. But again, as I say, the kind of advice that we in recent months that we got from Bridge has kind of propelled us into one, made us profitable within 6 months of product launch. Dusra, he was actually the first guy who told that okay, you are underpriced. But there are some deficiencies in the product. I agree. There are some gaps. We are building on it. But the kind of insights that he gave about the industry, about his experience, because he had built a similar product, not same, but with an overlap around 11 years ago.
Yeah.
So he has much deeper insights into this industry, and always grateful, always indebted to him for the kind of feedback that he has provided, and many others, many
Yeah.
others. But Jasminder, he's the guy that will set you on fire, charge you, and kind of
Absolutely.
leave
Straight in
you
the face.
blazing with energy. Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes,
And I believe Bridge, he has built quite a product and has led Rebright as well. And his experiences of building and working in US would have been actually
yes,
helpful to you. So moving ahead, Harsh, to team building and capability building. So as I see
yes,
your resume, so you have had HCL Cloud capabilities for HCL Technologies. Have you were the regional head of Singapore and Australia for Rocket Internet, and then acquired startup. So tell us about some of the key leadership qualities. Means for let's say for early stage entrepreneurs like me, that what are the things to be kept in mind to keep that josh or keep that morale high within the team. That means because building a team, building a company, it's a team effort, I believe. And
yes.
what are the key leadership principles from your past experiences from leading to world-class companies at such scale, and then getting your startup acquired, and then again building Legit out right from scratch?
Yes, yes. So see, it's not about the leadership qualities, but more about understanding what you are building and what stage you are in at that time.
Right,
Okay. So when I led very large teams at HCL Exxon or later at Rocket, so the difference was that okay, majority of the things were already set up.
right,
Okay. So at that time, you hire people basically for the skill, for the job role that is there. Okay. The drastic difference between these two, I mean, building a team and that HCM capabilities, cloud capabilities, I started that practice from scratch. Although it was kind of an entrepreneurial venture within a large corporate, but you do not have to worry about one funding. You do not have to worry about how to hire people, where do I source people from. You have different teams. There is a talent acquisition team already very seasoned, very large talent acquisition team that will get you the resources. You do not have to look for an office because you just request, you will get a floor or a ODC or an office from the corporate or the admin. Okay.
right,
So the attitude there is very different. It's about understanding what you are trying to build and the skill set of the people that you want to onboard. Okay. When it comes to startup, there are a lot of other constraints or other functions also that contribute. Number one, if you are bootstrap, there is no money. So how do you arrange? I mean, you would want the top A plus team to be built
right,
in even in the initial days, but where do you get the money from? So
right.
you have to stitch your suit from the fabric that you have, not the fabric that you want or the best
Absolutely.
fabric available in the market. Two, even if you kind of have a budget, you have the resources. Two, it's not a job oriented or a skill kind of a team that you will build. It's a mission oriented a team that you need to build. Because
Absolutely.
if you are able to inspire people that okay, and kind of align their vision and their efforts, because their efforts will be aligned to your vision only when their vision also aligns to your vision.
Absolutely.
So first we should be really good at sales, because you have to sell your vision.
Right.
It's there is sometimes there might not be, because when we started Legit, we started from this room in my house where we are sitting right now.
Yeah.
This is my home office. We had two desks here. Actually three desks here, one developer, two co-founders. So because my co-founder comes with a technical background, he also used to code. There was another developer and me on the business side.
Right.
Okay. Once you start identifying such people, but what we did was we did not have much money at that time. We onboarded a few very very promising and with very high aspirations interns who were in their third year of graduation or final year of graduation, and three of them are still with us.
Right.
Okay, because
Perfect.
they had not yet seen any other working environment. They had not worked anywhere in other organizations. It was very easy to kind of mold their vision, and when they started seeing the fruits of their efforts coming in, the first customer that we have onboarded, the first paid customer that we onboarded, the first large enterprise customer that we onboarded when we moved from a single room at my house to a co-working space to a. So when they see these steps happening, they start believing that okay, if till now whatever we planned has been executed, and has been executed before time,
Yeah.
before the timeline that we had in
Right.
mind, they now believe that okay, the next timelines, that next milestones
Right.
also will happen. So at this moment, at an early stage, it is very different to kind of motivate the team and align them to the mission. If you are able to sell your vision, align them to the mission, definitely the skills are okay. Skills, I mean, there are a lot of people with similar skills which will be available in the market, but identifying those people who can be a part of the mission, that okay, we are on a all out kind of a conquering mission right now. We have to conquer this space. That is a very nuanced kind of a thing that you have to keep thinking about. How do I align these guys?
Absolutely. So, something out of your previous experiences, well, means we have been experiencing a startup wave since
Yes.
2019, or since Prime Minister Modi he started emphasizing on startup India. So, out of your experiences building, I believe this is a second startup, and working within the corporates. Are we seeing a transformation from a degree or a professional diploma-led, degree-led era to now a skill-led era, while we monitor, while we evaluate talent specifically?
Yes. Yes. So when I was working at large organizations, or when I started my career, I still remember IT companies having cutoffs that okay, not even at the graduation level, but even at 12th or 10th level, that okay,
Absolutely right.
minimum percentage. Okay. So the change that I have seen from that era to building team for a startup is that okay, now it is more result oriented. Okay, so we have one guy on our team, which we selected not because of his GPA, because his GPA was very poor. He was not getting placed anywhere during the graduation. So when I talked to him, he mentioned about a say gaming channel that he runs on YouTube. Not only gaming channel, he teaches people how to build mobile games. Okay, with around, I think right now he has around 5,000 plus subscribers. So one thing led to another. I was very sure a person who can run a YouTube channel along with his graduation and has 5,000 plus subscribers, and tells people, teaches people how to build mobile games. And I used to I went through the comments from his viewers, how much he has earned. So GPA does not matter. Okay, we onboarded him, and he's one of our best resources right now. So what I feel the change has been right now. So if the resource delivers, if the person delivers what we want, anyhow, nobody, after a couple of years you have spent in your job, nobody cares about your percentages or degrees, or whether you have a degree or not. It's all about the work experience. Right now that the bar has come down in terms of timelines or career progression, that even at the time of say leaving the college, or joining the corporate world, or joining the professional world, it's more about what you have built, what you are capable of building, especially in technology, rather than your GPA. Or we have another guy who has say 9 plus GPA, but this 4 GPA guy performs equal or much better than the 9 GPA guy. So I mean, nothing against high scoring guys, or somebody, people who have topped exams, but in the end, it's the ROI that you would see.
Yeah.
And then people are very, be it investors, be it entrepreneurs, be it even large businesses, right now are looking at ROI. Are they getting return for their money or not?
Right.
So if somebody is giving a good ROI, it doesn't matter whether he has formal education or a graduation or post graduation or not.
Absolutely. So value creation is the key.
Yes.
I'll second you on that. So again, the next question is, while we build teams right from scratch, and we start onboarding new talent, or freshly graduated talent, or even the people who have some work experiences. So it's impossible, and I believe not, ethically incorrect to micromanage them at every point of time. It ultimately will have to give them space. You'll have to give them authority.
Yes.
So how do we do that? Means doing things right, and trusting the team, building a trust both ways, that we trust our employees and the employees trust us, and ultimately giving them the accountability in the sense that now you're representing the company. It has become your responsibility to become the face of the company and create value, not just for the company, but for the client or the customer or the lead that you're currently handling.
Yes, yes. So something that we have very firmly told our team. Not, I mean, telling or creating these policies in kind of the documents. It doesn't matter much until you have that in practice. Okay.
Right.
So I always tell the team, and it is right now imbibed in our culture, that okay, everybody has a lot of freedom, but with accountability. If, I mean, it's a when you are working on things, you have to have the skin in the game.
Absolutely.
If it is a success, you are given the credit, you will be given say not only the credit, appropriate reward in terms of compensation as well. But if the things do not work out, take the responsibility that okay, I worked on it, it failed, it is not producing results. But maybe give me say these things. Maybe list down the factors that might have led to the failure. If this environment is present, I might again be able to build. When it comes to kind of finger pointing at others, I could have done this, but I was not able to do because this was not happening, that doesn't work.
Right.
It has happened a couple of times, but we kind of put it very firmly that okay, you have the freedom to build things, but do take the accountability also when things do not work out.
Right.
And that happens with me also. So what we do is, for everybody, we kind of have quarterly targets. We then break them down to monthly, not targets, but a to-do list kind of a thing. And then we break that out into a weekly kind of a to-do list. And then we have Friday sessions. Every Friday we have a session where the person presents that okay, what they did last week, what were the challenges, and what they plan for the next week. And sometimes it might not even be related to your work. That okay, it's something. It can be something personal also. That okay, I also worked on my fitness. I also worked on my couple of hobbies. But next time I'm working on this. So it's a mix of professional plus personal things. Say for example, today morning I went cycling, put it in the group that okay, I did India Gate and back in this hours. And my I mean, by chance my co-founder also is into cycling and kickboxing. He also went cycling, he also put it. So we keep sharing these things. A lot of it semi formal kind of a structure, slightly casual, a lot of freedom, but with accountability. And then I'm so transparent with the team that I even share the mails that that customers write to me, that okay, this is something the customer has really loved, and this is something that has broken. I mean, it's not working. I show them on my laptop that okay, this is the conversation that I'm having with such and such person. This is the conversation that I had last week with him. These are the things that I'm promising, and as a team, as a mission, we now have to deliver. So everybody feels the responsibility. It's they might not be involved in the mail to the customer, or even to the investors that we are talking to right now, but I show them on my laptop and they feel it as a responsibility that okay, we are a part of a team, we are on a mission to build something, and they take the responsibility. It's been a wonderful experience with a combination of freedom and accountability.
Absolutely. So something I would like to share as well on a similar note that we recently just this week introduced our fitness policy. Actually, it was inspired by Nitin Kamath, the founder CEO of
Yes.
Zerodha. So even before introducing the policy, I personally wrote the email to each one of our teammates that these are the something these were these this is something that we are going to include in the policy, and we're still
Mhm.
drafting it, and all the resources required for physical well-being as well as for mental well-being of our employees. So we'll do that. And upon that, what I attached is my last week's workout plan. That these are this is something I did spent at least 1.5 hour a day in the gym, and that's something I want that all of you should do. If not gym, try doing yoga or meditation, whatever suits you. But at least uh, try prioritizing yourselves alongside your work, because
Yes.
yeah. So moving ahead, again, a question means I seek answers from the people who have built companies and who aren't first time founders specifically, because because I'm barely 25 years of age, and generational differences means how do they influence work cultures and the expectation and the overall team dynamics. Means even if I as a founder I'm working with someone who has just recently graduated out of college, or an intern who is currently in the second or the third year or the final year of undergraduation, or someone who is who has over 10 to 15 years of work experience. So how do you manage, or how do you see cultural differences influencing the overall work culture, the expectation of you as a team leader from your team, and ultimately how does it influence the overall team dynamics?
Yes. So see, when we started our career, we didn't even have smartphones. We had the normal Nokia phones, and I started my career in Hyderabad. We didn't have AC at our place, even in summers. We used to stay late in office, go early and stay late in office because of a couple of reasons. One, there was air conditioner. Two, internet was free. We didn't have internet or Wi-Fi at home, and therefore no smartphones. Okay, so the freshers at that time, they spent a lot of time in office, and we ended up doing a lot of things, additional things in our projects just because we stayed for longer time in
Right.
office. And it was more of a more of from the need that we wanted to be in the air conditioner and access the internet, Google, Orkut, and all. But as we progress, majority of I mean, internet having air conditioner at home and all is given now. People will already have it. So it's not that see, distractions are always there. So right now, when I'm when the team is working, uh, some of them will chat on WhatsApp. Some of them will kind of go on to watch reels or many other apps, which sometimes I don't even know the name of. Okay, but the good thing is, when we were youngsters creating our accounts on Orkut or High Five or Friendster, our seniors were kind of very amused and took the technology in their stride. That okay, show me how. I still remember one of my general managers when I was a fresher sitting with me, and right now he's an investor in our in our firm. So sitting with me and trying to understand what how exactly Orkut works. We didn't have Facebook at that time, and I used to use High Five and Orkut. I explained him, helped him create his account, and he was very inquisitive about these new things, even when they were not related to work. Okay. Now, when I'm kind of in his shoes, and I encounter youngsters who have just come from college, I mean, these new technologies, new tools, new platforms will keep coming. One, the generational gap kind of hinders the progress only when you are not able to kind of accustom yourselves or kind of make yourselves comfortable in the current situation.
Right.
It's a fact. Instagram is current. It's a fact. Telegram or Discord or Snapchat, that's the current thing.
Right.
If I get disconnected from the current thing, I'll never be able to I mean, I'm using the word, I mean, people use it, the current thing, what is currently happening. Okay, so I'll never be able to kind of talk to these guys, make them understand what we are doing, make them kind of bring them on the same page. So what I personally feel, it's the duty of I mean, not the last generation, but the seniors to understand these technologies, because these guys are bubbling with ideas,
Right.
and you can correlate to their ideas only when you also experience the same technologies. Now coming to the say kind of work culture, uh, technologies have kind of accelerated the output. So whatever we were able to achieve, maybe say in 8 hours or 10 hours of time, when we started our career, right now people, with the help of technologies and the other ecosystem that they have around, they can deliver that in 2 to 3 hours.
Right.
Okay, the product development life cycle, or maybe go to market cycle, that has shortened a lot, and technology has to do a lot with them. Only thing is, if you keep stuck to the old ways of doing work, which many business owners are, then the generational gap is kind of I mean, hinders the progress.
Right.
But if you try to be on the same page as others, try to, I mean, be on the similar kind of platforms, understand the technology, and bring them, make them understand the, again, the accountability and the responsibility part. It's a win-win situation for all.
Absolutely. So, although there is a time constraint, else I would have taken the appointment for the entire Sunday. So, so how do we resolve conflicts, and we ensure that the generational gap or the age gap doesn't actually affect the entire team collaboration? So, what is your thoughts, or what are the exercises or the practices that you personally deploy within your team at Legit?
Okay, so I mean, when it comes to conflicts, or kind of if there are different point of views, I always personally am a big not a business guy, but a science, data and maths guy. Okay, so you'll be surprised. Sometimes I still solve physics. I love physics. I still solve physics questions and maths equations. Whenever a conflict or multiple opinion kind of a situation happens, um, I give that, okay, with my past experiences, this is this I have felt personally, or there is data that supports this. But if you think that, okay, this way is better, or this way of doing business is better, kind of prove it. It's not a challenge. It's not a challenge, but either you should have data and facts, or
Right.
maybe give some empirical evidence, or prove it in person that, okay, this is something which I can do in a much better fashion. Because sometimes we do have these kind of discussions that, okay, is remote, should the team work remote or in person and all. So we tried. I said, okay, I don't know, but what I personally feel is, at very early stages, the stage that we were, the in person or in office kind of environment works best. When the things stabilize, then we can work remote, but let's try. So we tried a couple of experiments. We had the data in place that, okay, this is sometimes even anecdotal data, or sometimes the productivity in number of hours, or number of commits that the team has done. We had the data in place, and wherever possible, I love to have the data and facts in place, or empirical evidence in place, and then move ahead. So it's not about just being an authority and imposing rules, but solve it together. I don't know. It is working right now. As we move ahead, become a bigger team, then there might be different type of conflict resolution mechanism. But right now, this is working best.
Absolutely. Very aptly put, Harsh. So, thanks a lot for taking out the time on a bright Sunday morning, and all the best for what you are building at Legit, and hope to see you soon. So, ladies and gentlemen, with me for our fifth episode was Harshdeep Rapal, the co-founder and CEO of Legit. And yeah, thanks, Harsh, again for sharing your insights.
Thank you for inviting me. It was a wonderful conversation, and these are my personal views. Might be right or wrong. That we'll all have to experiment. But it was wonderful conversation. Love to be a part of this podcast.
Likewise.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So, thanks a lot, ladies and gentlemen. So, after a short break, this was Taranjit Singh presenting the fifth episode of The Big Brains. We'll continue bringing in more esteemed guests, sharing their insights on business team building and building great teams and great cultures. Thanks a lot. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.